You get up from the couch. No announcement, no particular reason. You just head down the hall. Before you reach the door, you already hear it. Small feet, moving fast, keeping pace with yours. You turn around. There it is. Sitting in the doorway, watching you like it had somewhere better to be and decided against it. You laugh. Or sigh. Maybe you nudge it back out and close the door. Tomorrow, it happens again. Most people put this in the same category as other strange cat habits. Something to laugh at. Maybe record once, then stop thinking about. But there is a layer underneath that moment that most owners walk right past. Your cat sends a signal every time it follows you through that door. Not a loud one. Not one that announces itself. A quiet one. And the quiet ones carry the most weight. Once you understand what that signal is, something shifts. You will not just understand this behavior. You will start to recognize a language your cat has been using all along. Across every room, every routine, every ordinary part of your day. A language you never had a way to read before. If understanding your cat beyond the surface is what you are here for, you are in the right place. Subscribe so you do not miss what comes next. Because what comes next changes how you read everything. So, let's start with the first thing most people never stop to ask. Why the bathroom? Not the kitchen, where you spend real time every day. Not the balcony, where you linger some mornings. Not the bedroom, where you grab your phone and sit on the edge of the bed for 5 minutes, doing nothing in particular. The bathroom. Almost every time. Here is what is actually happening. Your cat watches you move through this house constantly. Every hour you are home, it is collecting data. Where you go, how fast, which direction, how long. But most of what you do does not follow any pattern it can work with. You stand up suddenly. You change course in the middle of a hallway. You sit down, then get up 30 seconds later. Your movements are full of variables it cannot get ahead of. The bathroom is different. Same path down the hall. Same door. Same pause on the other side. No sudden turns. No interruptions. It is one of the only moments in your entire day that runs the same way, every single time. For an animal whose nervous system is wired to read the world through pattern and repetition, that kind of consistency works like a green light in traffic. It does not just signal where you are going. It signals that approaching is safe, that the space around you is settled, that this is a moment it can move toward without calculating the risk first. And that matters more than most people realize, because with cats, safety is not just comfort. Safety is the foundation that everything else gets built on. When they learn they can read you, when one part of your routine becomes something they can anticipate with certainty, it creates something. A small but real opening. And what that opening leads to is what brings us to the second reason. When you step into that small room, you are in one of the least defended positions in your entire day. You are sitting still. The door is closed. Sound from the rest of the house drops away. You are not scanning the room, not moving, not positioned to respond quickly to anything. Your cat registers all of that. Next time it follows you in, notice where it positions itself. Most cats do not sit next to you directly. They angle themselves toward the door. Back toward you, eyes toward the entrance. It looks like they are ignoring you. It looks casual, maybe a little indifferent. It is not. That is a posture with a purpose. Back to you, attention to everything beyond that door. The posture of something standing between you and the rest of the space. Behavioral research on cats in home environments suggests they tend to position themselves closest to their owner during moments when the owner is least mobile. Though the exact mechanisms are still being studied, what it comes down to is this. The presence itself is the message, not a dramatic one, not performed, just a quiet, consistent choice to be the thing between you and whatever is on the other side. That brings us to the third layer, and this one might be the one that reframes the whole picture. Your bathroom carries something no other room in your home does, at least not in the same concentration. It holds the most dense and personal record of your scent in the entire space. To your cat's sensory system, that room reads more clearly as you than anywhere else. So when it walks in and starts rubbing the side of its face along the door frame, the edge of the sink, the corner of the wall, it is not claiming the room as its own. It is doing something more specific than that. It is layering its scent into a space that already carries yours, mixing the two together until the room stops belonging to just one of you. When it settles down on the floor beside you and just sits there, that is not random. That is closer to signing a quiet agreement. This space carries both of us now. That is how a cat makes somewhere feel like home, not by owning it. By being in it alongside someone it has chosen to be near. If this is starting to land the way it should, you are reading your cat in a way most people never get to. Subscribe so you are here for the next part, because what comes after this is where it gets personal. Now here is where it gets specific to you. Think about what your day actually looks like for your cat. You move through the house constantly, grabbing things, putting them down, switching rooms, checking your phone, starting something and stopping. There is almost always something pulling at your attention. Something between you and everything else in the room. The bathroom does not work that way. You go in. You stop moving. There is no screen in your hand demanding something back. No task half finished in the next room. No reason to be anywhere else for the next few minutes. And in that stillness, something small but consistent happens. You look down. You say its name in a voice you do not use anywhere else in the house. Quieter, slower, without any request attached to it. Maybe you reach down for a second. Maybe you just hold eye contact a little longer than you normally would. Your cat collects all of that. Not because it is looking for affection in the way we usually think about it, but because it has learned, through repetition, that this particular room is where you show up without an agenda. No movement pulling you away. No divided focus. Just the two of you in a small space where your attention has nowhere else to go. That is not a small thing to an animal that spends most of the day reading you from across the room. It learned where you are most fully present, and it keeps coming back to that place. But the last piece, this is the one that reframes everything before it. There is something your cat is doing in that room that has nothing to do with routine or reward. And when you understand it, you will think back to a specific moment with your cat, a day when things were heavy or off, or just harder than usual, and suddenly that moment will make a different kind of sense. Here it is. Your cat does not read your emotional state through what you say. It reads the way your body occupies space. Whether your movements are tight or loose, whether you sit down heavily or ease into it, whether your breathing is steady or running just a little fast. These are signals you are not consciously sending, but they are there, in the room, available to something whose entire survival has always depended on reading an environment accurately. Behavioral observations of cats in home settings note that they tend to adjust their proximity to their owner in response to shifts in the owner's physical state, even when the owner has not changed their behavior in any obvious way. The bathroom amplifies all of this. No background noise to sort through, no movement to track across a larger space. Just you still, in a room where the signals your body is sending out are as clear as they are going to get anywhere in the house. On the days when something is sitting on you, the tired days, the ones where you are holding more than you let on, your cat does not show up more because the routine changed. It shows up more because it reads something in the way you moved through that door. It sits closer, holds eye contact a little longer than usual, does not wander off the way it might on an ordinary afternoon. It does not do anything with all of that information except stay, settle, be in the room with you in a way that is quieter than comfort, but means something close to it. That is not dependency. That is an animal reading you with more accuracy than most people in your life manage to. So take everything we have moved through, a routine that is predictable enough to feel safe. Safety that activates something older and deeper. A positioning instinct that places your cat between you and the rest of the world. That instinct folding into a bonding ritual where two scents in one small room become a shared signature. That ritual becoming the context for the one kind of attention your cat knows it will always find there. And all of it building toward this. An animal that has been paying close enough attention to know when you need something before you have said a word. That is what lives inside this one small, repeating moment. It is instinct at work. It is trust being expressed in the only language available. It is your cat telling you something it has no words for, and choosing to say it anyway, every single time you walk down that hall. Now, I want to know something. Because every cat does this a little differently. And the details are more telling than most people expect. When you walk into the bathroom, where does yours go? Does it come all the way in and press itself against your feet, as close as the space allows? Does it take up a position near the door, body angled toward the hallway, like it has somewhere to be, but decided to stay anyway? Does it find the highest surface in the room, the edge of the sink, the back of the tank, and watch everything from there? Or does it stay just outside, one paw maybe crossing the threshold, head tilted through the gap, like it is filing a report, without fully committing? Drop it in the comments. Not because it is a fun question, though it is, but because where your cat positions itself in that room is part of the same language we just spent all this time translating. The position is the sentence. And once you start reading those sentences, you will find them everywhere. If something in this shifted how you see what your cat is doing, share it with someone who has been laughing at their bathroom shadow for years, without knowing what it was actually saying. There is more to how your cat communicates than one room can hold. The next video goes further into a behavior most owners have experienced, but never had a way to understand. Your cat has been paying attention to you for a long time. It turns out there is quite a bit more to translate.